5, 4, 3, 2. Hi everybody, old Gare out here at the Fishing Shack, and welcome to this week's Fishing Chums Fishing Report. First full week of May is completed, and today when I'm shooting this show, it's raining out. I have the old jacket on, but I understand it's going to be really nice weather, hopefully for the upcoming weekend, and next week I understand it's going to be good. So we're going to get out there and catch some fish and have a beautiful weekend. Keep our fingers crossed. Well, I want to thank you for being here, and we want to thank all of our new viewers. And if you haven't joined our team, subscribe. It's absolutely free, and that way you won't miss out on any of the fun. So be sure to subscribe. We want to thank all the thousands of viewers each week we've been having. We have a lot of groups viewing us. We have, of course, on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you all very much, and tell your friends about us. Hey, we love to have all you fishermen out there to join us every week. Gosh darn it. All right, we have a cool, very nice photo of the week coming up and some pretty good reports. Although the lakes are high and dingy, hey, they're still catching fish. So let's go fishing.
Fish and Chums!
Okay, there's a lot of people struggling right now. In fact, I struggled a little bit this week. I was out at Table Rock. This is generally when I catch some really nice walleye at Table Rock. But it's been a little tough. We'll be talking about this. But the bass fishing's been really good at Table Rock. And we have a good report from Truman and also Lake the Ozarks. Boy, a lot of good fishing takes place at Lake the Ozarks. Wow, so we've got a lot to talk about. Let's go to our photo of the week. You know, below the dam at Truman, that's a good fishery. I've caught a lot of great fish below the dam, walleye, hybrids, white bass, crappie. I love it when those crappie come up there and start feeding, and some big hybrids. And speaking of hybrids, how about Dennis Hawley? He was out the other day, and look at this beautiful 12-pound plus hybrid. Wow, that's a heck of a fish, Dennis. And I bet that stretched the old line and made that drag sing a little bit. Great catch. Boy, those hybrids are strong, real strong fish. So good going. All right, let's start off at Table Rock. I fished out there a couple days this week, and a couple days ago, boy, it was just a beautiful morning, and it got up to around nearly 80 degrees. And by the way, this morning when I had the water temperature taken out there, my reporter said it was 65 degrees. But when I fished the other day at the end of the, around 2 o'clock, it got clear up. Water temperature was way up to 69 degrees. So it fluctuates, but it's raining now. It's cooled it off a little bit. But boy, the bass fishing has been really good at Table Rock. I'm telling you, on a variety of baits. Good gosh. This week I've caught them on the Ned rig. I've hooked them on a lizard. I tell you, if you want to have some fun, I have an old lizard that I like to use. It's brown with a chartreuse orange tail, and it's about 7 inches long. And I'll pitch that Texas rig, pitch it up in some of that new brush, swim it, drop it down. Oh, hang on. I caught one, had to be over 4 pounds. Now, I might have been big eyeing it, but I'm sure it was close to 4 anyway. But, boy, there's some nice quality fish being caught at Table Rock. I've had reports, like I said, on Ned rig. I've had reports on jigs. There's still some fish on the beds, so swim baits have been working. When it's windy, you might pick up a fish on a square-billed crankbait. That's been fairly productive. And they've been picking up some fish on spinner baits. In fact, spinner baits has been as good as anything. Gosh, I've had a lot of reports on spinner baits at Table Rock. In fact, look at my old buddy Mountain Dew. Old buddy and a good fisherman. Gosh darn it, Mountain Dew, great fish. He caught that bass on a spinner bait. And Mountain Dew, you and I are going to go walleye fishing here in a day or two, a few days, that's for sure. Mountain Dew is a great musician in Branson and a great friend. So good catch, Mountain Dew. He's caught several bass this week on spinner baits. All right, let's talk about walleye. You know, I went out to generally this time of the year at Table Rock is when the walleye are moving back into the main lake and on the points and secondary points and some of the flats. Not quite there yet. I've checked all my spots a couple times this week, not there. But they have been picking up some walleye way at the upper end of the White River, and they've been trolling flicker shad. That's always a great bait. And some people have been just backing it up, swimming a grub, like a salt and pepper grub with an 1/8 ounce or a 1/4 ounce. But flicker shad's working the upper end of the White River. Okay, crappie. Doggone it, I went crappie fishing and didn't get a lick. And where my crappie usually are at Table Rock this time of the year, that high water must have messed them up because I haven't been able to find them. But some people have. And they, of course, the creek areas and some of the river areas where there would be this time of the year kind of flooded with that dirty water's kind of messed them up a little bit. But I've had some reports of some of the docks, not so much in front of the docks, but in the back of the docks at Table Rock. So you might try this for the upcoming weekend at the Rock. Might catch some crappie. I hope so. Okay, you know, out at Taneycomo, they've been releasing a lot of water at the dam at Table Rock. So when that goes down and out, that current down through Taneycomo, sometimes it makes it a little bit too fast. But they have been picking up some trout, and I'll tell you what's going on right now. There've been some threadfin shad coming through the turbines, and you know what this means. Get the old white jig out, either an 1/8 ounce or 1/16 ounce. If you're in that real fast current, go to the 1/8 ounce. Slower current off the edge, go to the 1/16. And I've had several reports of some nice trout being caught by using the white jigs. And some people have just been kind of off the side of the current and using night crawlers, picking up some trout out at Lake Taneycomo. But it's a pretty good current going down through there right now. Water temperature there was 44 degrees this morning with that cold water coming out of Table Rock Dam. Okay, let's go out at Bull Shoals. I've had good reports on bass fishing at Bull Shoals. They're catching the bass on a variety of bait. They've been using to catch any wind out there, square bill crankbaits and spinner baits have really been working good, just like Table Rock at Bull Shoals. And a little bit of a top water bait. Now, I didn't mention this at Table Rock. Last week, there was some pretty consistent top water fishing starting to develop. But I don't think it was that good this past few days. But always had that top water bait at your fingertips with that extra rod. You never know when something might come up and chase some shad and so forth. And that's happening at Bull Shoals and at Table Rock. So don't throw away that top water bait. Okay, Bull Shoals, top water action a little bit. Been picking up some fish in the late morning, early afternoon on Ned rigs, points, secondary points. In the morning hours, they've been using some swim baits, and also they've been picking up some fish on plastic worms, and they've been picking up some fish, I heard, down bottom of some of the bluffs on an umbrella rig. So you never know this time of the year. Bull Shoals, I do know that they're catching fish at Mid-Lake and down by the dam, all those areas. They've been picking up some walleye at Bull Shoals, too, at the lower end, Mid-Lake area, going to points and secondary points. The night crawler harnesses, they've been using this. And also the flicker shad. Don't overlook the flicker shad at Bull Shoals as well. They're picking up a few real nice walleye out there. I haven't heard too much on the crappie. They've been picking up some crappie, but not like it could be for this time of the year. All right, let's go out to Stockton Lake. That water temperature was 66 degrees this morning, and they've been picking up some real nice crappie at times. In fact, look at Bob Bennett. He was out to a fine guide out at Stockton. If you ever need a guide, he's be one of the guys you need to get a hold of. And he and his party really picked up some real nice crappie and a couple walleye. And the crappie, I've had, just depends on what area, what creek arm you're going to use. Try to find some clear water, but they're in the front end of the coves. The creek arms about halfway back, about 12, 14 feet of water, I understand. Jigs, also minnows. Some people have been using a floating minnow combination out there, but I do know some nice crappie have been caught at Stockton. So don't overlook this walleye. They've been picking up some fish down by the dam by using night crawlers, kind of drifting along the dam, and also the points and secondary points. They've been night crawling out there and Same thing. They've been picking up some fish on crankbaits out there, like the flicker minnow or the flicker shad, slow trolling, picking up some walleye out at Stockton. Bass fishing's improved out there this week as well. Been picking up a few fish early in the morning on topwater, and they've been picking up some bass on spinner baits, square bill crankbaits, and jigs, and some plastic baits as well. So Stockton looks good for the upcoming weekend. I think you can catch some walleye out there. Okay, out Pommes de Terre, the lower end, I'd stay fishing for crappie at the lower half of the lake, down by the dam and some of the little pockets, and they've been picking up some real nice crappie on occasion. They've been using minnows, and of course jigging minnows, and I tell you what, floating minnows, about 3-4 feet off the bank, have really been taking some nice crappie out at Pommes de Terre. So check this out. Bass fishing's been fair. They've been picking up some bass fishing in the early morning hours, occasionally a topwater fish, and they've been picking up some fish on spinner baits and also crankbaits. And so, Pommy, boy, hope you do good out there this upcoming weekend. All right, let's go out at Truman. By the way, Pommes de Terre was 66 degrees this morning on the surface, so... out at Truman, the water temperature was 65 degrees this morning, and Terry Reynolds was out the other day and just fishing off the bank, if my reporter, if I got the story right, and he was just fishing right off the bank and picked up this nice mess of crappie. And some people have been using floating minnows, some people have been jigging, but there's been some crappie being caught at Truman. And I tell you what, some really nice quality fish as well. So you may want to go crappie fishing out there this upcoming weekend. And they've been picking up some nice bass. Bass fishing's improved out there this week. And below the dam, hey, I tell you what, just like Dennis caught that big old hybrid out there the other day, a couple of days ago. They've been picking up some crappie at times, a lot of water at times coming over through the outlets there, so there's a big current. But they have been picking a lot of hybrids and white bass, and occasionally a big old walleye up at below the dam at Truman. All right, let's go out Lake of the Ozark. Now here's a lake that I think you could really catch some crappie this weekend. I've had many good reports of crappie being caught at the Lake of the Ozarks. And they're using a chartreuse jigs, like a 16th ounce jig, chartreuse jig with kind of a fire tail, swimming it. They've been using minnows, swimming minnows, plastic minnows, and also float and actually a minnow combination. But boy, I've had some really good. In fact, Chris was out the other day with a party. He's a great guide out there, and picked up this nice mess of crappie for his clients. Wow, really nice quality fish. Really nice crappie being caught at Lake of the Ozarks. And the bass fishing's picked up out there too this week. It looked like a great place to be the upcoming week. All right, we have some great photos coming your way in just a minute. But so don't go away, because my buddy Brandon's got some really great photos. Really fun photos. Let's end this thing up by going to Norfolk Lake. That water temperature is a little warm out there, a little warmer than, because it's a little bit further south, 68 degrees this morning. And boy, there's been some really nice crappie for you folks out there in the Norfolk area. I'd get out this weekend. Nice crappie being caught. The water temperature out there was, like I said, 68. And they've really caught some really quality crappie and some limits being caught out there. And the striper fishing, here's something, if you want to do something different, get up early in the morning out at Norfolk, get some topwater, big old topwater baits, and there has been some stripers and hybrids hitting topwater out at Norfolk in the first hour and a half or so in the morning. Boy, that would be fun. Now, that would be fun. Well, we want to thank you very much. As I said, I'm no weatherman, doggone it. It's raining out here now. But this weekend looks really good. Maybe a little shower Saturday morning, but I understand it's going to clear up, have nice weather Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hey, I hope so anyway. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So we need some good, consistent weather. I want to thank you very much for being with us. Be sure to like and share. Tell your friends about our show. And as I mentioned, subscribe. And if you have any photos or just want to talk fishing with us, give us some fishing information, email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. God bless you. Thank you all for you new members and all you people joining us every week. Tell your friends and neighbors and relatives about us, and join me right here next week at this same time. Brandon, roll 'em, buddy.